Hello everyone, this is DavidViadel23 and welcome to the Mandragora's Cave. Today we are gonna be talking about One Piece chapter 1178, Fading Nightmare it is translated. We have reached a very interesting point in the story. Obviously this video is gonna be plagued with spoilers from the latest information because we are analyzing this chapter, because I want to compare with other things that I have in mind regarding this episode. But the drawing for today is gonna be this image of Gunko. Okay, Gunko is possessed by Imu, and something happens here that we see how this demonic possession, that is not the same as Domi Reversi, it is something different. So Imu is inside the body of Gunko, controlling it like this. She's some sort of a vessel, as I understand, okay? We have this kind of extraction, so she is like a venom or something, like a lot of ink, a lot of I don't know, petrol leaked in the sea or something, like contamination, okay? Darkness. It looks as well a little bit like a spear of ugliness and blackness. So let's try to do that that type of drawing. We do a couple of splashes here because it's like being like a massive slash of blood. Obviously this is gonna be black, but I want to try to approach it like this, okay? Like we are gonna be doing this, okay? So we have in the cover story, Kid is running from a massive bull. I said 1,000 times that I don't think Kid is dead. We know that Kid reaches Elbaf, and before touching land, Shanks is waiting for him there. Kid was being reckless and he is attacking all the other crews belonging to Shanks, that they are more weak, okay? And basically with killing intent. So Shanks, because he has a lot of foresight with his haki, he can see in the future a lot. He knows that if he lets him do whatever he wants, some of his friends, some of his nakamas are gonna die. So he decides to stop this, and just with one attack, he eliminates him basically, okay? He decimates the whole crew with one attack. So, in my opinion, that I'm gonna put the video about Kid here. Kid is one of these characters that I like. Personally, I like. It's not that it's my favorite character, but it's an okay character. The power is okay as well. I like it. And I don't think his story is ended yet. The man marked by flames, it is mentioned by his crew. And I think, like in Pirates of the Caribbean 1, that we see Barbossa, that Barbossa is killed and then is brought back to life by the witch and everything, by Calypso. I think we're gonna see something similar here. I see a moment where we are gonna be being in a cave, being in a house where, in my opinion, Copacabana lives nowadays with the wife, like in the house that he lives, for example, and we are gonna be seeing how we talk, blah blah blah, with him, we interact, we say goodbye when we are actually going towards the end of Elbaf, and there at the background maybe we see the legs of someone, like in Pirates of the Caribbean, and that happens to be Kid. I think Killer may take a little bit of the leadership in the crew while Kid is out of commission. I would love that. Not for them to have any kind of important role, just to be support characters like Law. I think a Law as well in the same line. And just to connect them to the man marked by flames, because they are the ones who actually gave us that information ages ago. Okay, ages ago. So I want to know your opinion about this as well. I want to know because Oda... Obviously, not everything is foreshadowing. Maybe this is just something random that he's drawing and that's it. But most of the time we see some kind of interactions like this, or shows that, characters show up in a specific time, and maybe they are trying to give us some information. Okay, so let's do the legs here. Okay, and let's start the chapter. So we see this image from far, and we see some of the straw hats here that they just have still one of the god knights in wrappings. He's cut in pieces like Buggy in the beginning of the story, and something is coming very fast. That is Luffy, and Luffy is bringing Usopp and Brook. Those two guys were facing Imu, so those are the two first guys of the crew facing Imu, and Imu destroyed them. Basically, Luffy got very upset. He saves them and leaves Loki there while he's, entertaining Imu a little bit, and he puts them in a safe place with the rest of the Nakamas. Like, take care of them, I'm gonna go back to fight. Franky is very epic, and he's asking Luffy if he needs a hand. Franky is older than Luffy and Nami and Usopp and these guys, and he's not afraid of anything. We see as well a little bit like Jinbei in that sense, like when we are in Onigashima, Franky is the first one saying to Big Mom, yeah, whatever, I'm just gonna run over here with my moto, and I don't care about anything, we are super strong, and we are Jongos here. So I like this cocky part of Franky. It reminds me to his actually introduction. I love that Franky. I think we lost a little bit that Franky, the kind of misfit type of character, and more like a street fighter and all these things. Like Franky at that point in Water 7 when we fight him, Luffy is fighting him in a massive, impressive fight there in the shipyard and everything, and I like it. So Franky is someone who is not gonna be worried or ashamed or panicking or anything. Franky is just gonna fight, and he doesn't care about anything. He is, the real deal, and I like that. I like that about him, and I want to see more things like this. That actually he takes a little bit more of the scene, and he takes some action there as well. Okay, so Luffy says, if things get worse, yes. We never seen Luffy say something like this. He normally is like, don't worry, I take care of things. I think we are at the point in the story that, not right now, but sooner or later, Luffy needs to be defeated multiple times, like I explained multiple times, regarding Blackbeard, regarding, the top of our fights here. Luffy, it's always defeated, like against Crocodile, he's defeated a couple of times, against Ruchi, he's defeated a couple of times as well. So we need to see these things, and I want to see, like in Onigashima, that Zoro is protecting actually Luffy, and he says, oh, you're gonna take the head of my captain, you're gonna have to take mine first. And I see Franky doing as well this role a little bit here. Sometimes it is left for Sanji to do these kind of moments as well, like against Bartholomew Kuma in Thriller Bark. But Oda needs to give a little bit of a screen time to all of them, and I like it coming from Franky, and it gives him a little bit of presence in the story, okay, even if at the end of the day later he's not doing anything. So Luffy, is just leaving, saying, no, I'm just gonna go back, Loki is gonna start to destroy everything, and Sanji is like, yeah, look who is talking about that. So basically Luffy is the same, like if you remember as well in Gyojin Island, he just wanted to destroy the whole thing to be able to defeat Hody and the other guys, and he didn't care much. Obviously he was gonna protect everyone, but he didn't care much about how he was gonna do that. This is a little interesting because he is known, or he is called the god of liberation. It can be as well the warrior of liberation or the warrior of destruction, the god of destruction, and it is very Luffy. I think 100% that at the end of the day, when we are reaching the end of the story to, defeating Imu, defeating all the bad guys and everything, we, as Straw Hats, we need to destroy the Red Line. We need to break that mountain that is man-made, where Laboon is. That is the X. The X marks the place, like in every pirate story, and the X is those 4 lines of sea going up to the mountain and going down into the Grand Line. So I think that X is the one who marks the One Piece, the mystery of everything, and that's what Roger discovered and everything. So we need to destroy that place specifically. We need to destroy as well at the point of Marijoa, so probably the tree is gonna fall in that part specifically, in my opinion. That's why we will continue in Marijoa fighting as well. And because of all of this, Luffy is gonna be the god of destruction or the warrior of destruction, and at the same time the one of the liberation as well, the warrior of liberation, because he's gonna liberate the seas. They are gonna create a One Piece. Everything's gonna be together. All the seas are gonna be together, blending all of them. All these kind of weird things about, you know, the Calm Belt, the Grand Line, the New World, all of these kind of clear lines and separations, all the different seas. All of them are gonna be together, and we're gonna have a world full of islands. That this is kind of the utopia, basically, for a pirate. You are able to sail around the world non-stop from island to island, okay, without having to stop. And it's very interesting. At the same time, yes, we need to play with the idea of what Imu wants to do here, that is the destruction of the world, and is playing in the same line as well, and the sinking of the world. Once Luffy destroys, or while they are fighting and destroy this point in the map, let's say, we are gonna have the levels of the water rising up like crazy. So a lot of land is gonna go underwater, not only for whatever Vegapunk explained to us in his saga, not only because of Imu, but because for salvation, for freedom, you will need to do that step. And that's why we are in friendship, in connection with Shirahoshi and the rest of the Gyojins to help everyone who may be drowning. That's why we are as well in partnership with Sky People and with, in my opinion, Bibi, that is gonna be controlling this kind of ancient weapon that is gonna be like the Sea Kings, but in the sky, like a, you know, sky monster kind of thing, similar to Loki, like I think a rock, like some sort of eagle, like a rock, like in Norse mythology, on top of the Yggdrasil tree, that there is a gigantic bird there, something like this. And because of this concept as well, we are going to be able to save whoever is going to be on the Sky Islands that is going to fall, because everything needs to fall, not only the ones in the Blue Sea will suffer. Everyone in the world needs to suffer, so Luffy can help liberate them all, okay? And without wanting to be the chosen one, or the warrior of liberation, or the hero of everyone, he has to be, obviously, because he's the main character. But I explain a little bit of this Sky concept and BB concept in my mechanical ancient weapons theory that I put here in the corner as well, for you to understand what I want with this, what I would like to see with this. But yeah, feel free as well to drop in the show more section down below your likes. What would you like to see? How do you think that's gonna happen? If you think about the red line in a different way, for example, or about this unification of the world, of the One Piece concept in another way. But that is what I would like as a fan, and what I've been trying to kind of read in between the lines to see if Oda is giving us some hints on that. So Luffy is reckless sometimes, and we know that he is difficult in some of the fights, for say, you know, to explain it in a way that he will need to destroy things to make peace. What we learn, for example, let's say in Nami's saga, that he needs to destroy the whole Arlong Park, destroy Nami's room. It's very emotional moment for Nami. Nami is crying because, yeah, the connection that she has there and the bad memories that she has there. But Luffy needed to break those chains and liberate Nami in that sense. So this, obviously, Oda is magnifying this concept in every saga, bigger, 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 bigger. And the biggest shackle that we have in the world of One Piece at the moment is, obviously, the red line that is making everyone separated. Okay, so with this kind of mini interaction of Sanji and Luffy, I think Oda is giving us a lot of information and a lot of foreshadowing of what is going to happen going forward in the story. Okay, so then we move into a conversation that Imu is having with herself, basically. Loki obviously is listening, but he has no clue about what she's talking about. You know, a ship from the giants was sighted many years ago, blah blah blah, and someone very big was there. However, she says those who moved while hiding within the deep fog only target government ships, you know, to keep an eye on them, no? So what is this? Because this is a very intricate type of concept, or kind of very hieroglyphic type of concept, what she's trying to say. If you remember, when we are in Thillerbark, at the end, there is kind of this kind of closing of the saga where we are living. We see Thillerbark that is, you know, in this zoom out, very tiny, and we see the sea around it, all the fog around it and everything, and there are these silhouettes, Imu looking like 3 silhouettes they look like the same shape that Imu has without the top. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be a crown or something like that, or a hat or something, but without that part. And everyone was always thinking, oh, what's that gonna be? What's that gonna be? Imu, there's gonna be this, there's gonna be monsters, there's gonna be giants, is that Sunisha, is that some kind of Onis? A lot of speculation about this. Was this Loki maybe? Or, you know, many options online. So I think this is a hint from Imu to all of us. The power is pretty similar to the Big Mom power and the Gecko Moria power mixed. That's what Oda does. He kind of evolves the powers that we used in the past for a different level, to a new level of difficulty to defeat. And what we see there is that those creatures are 3 creatures observing. They don't do anything, they're just in the mist, and they're observing, and it's a massive question. So, like Big Mom has these kind of shadow figures that they look like shadows as well, like Gecko Moria, and they go collecting life of the citizens of Totoland, and they kind of consume that life, or they bring it to Big Mom so she can actually heal, get stronger, live longer, etc., etc. But they are paying with years of their life. They are paying with lifespan. Okay, I think this is something similar. I think these are some sort of, let's say, control dendenmushis that she creates from herself, like these shadows, like we have seen as well within these demons that we have seen within the Domi Reversi guys, and they are monitoring different areas of the map. Why are they monitoring Thillerbark? Because they know it's a hub for Gecko Moria to collect people, to keep an eye on what's there, what's in Thillerbark. We have Ors in Thillerbark, that it's an ancient giant, something that he recovered. We have a lot of lore regarding Wano. We have, you know, someone very important here in Thillerbark that they may have been monitoring to see if he revives somehow. That is as well Soros fight, basically. The legendary Ryuma, okay, Samurai Ryuma. So, this, if you have, for example, watched the story that it's released in Netflix as well about the 100 Damnation, about monsters from the Wanted comic. This is the story of Ryuma. Ryuma is famous because he killed a massive dragon at the point. By Oda releasing this extra information, by Oda adding Ryuma concept from the story, because he comes from the Wanted comic, he's from another comic before One Piece, Oda kind of confirms that this belongs to the same universe, obviously. And so I'm gonna put that video actually, because I analyzed that short as well here, and it is very interesting. You may find it interesting like I do, okay? And what happens there is that there are certain characters for Imu that are a problem. In this case, whatever fruit Loki is possessing, whatever fruit Luffy is possessing, and probably there are other allies that at that point in the story, 900 years ago, were colleagues, nakamas, trying to defeat Imu, and Imu managed to overcome them all. So, probably, and it will make sense for Ryuma and the samurais to be one of those as well, you know, like we are seeing now that the Elbaf people, through Loki's fruit, and whoever had it before was enemy of Imu. Whoever had originally Luffy's fruit was enemy of Imu. Whoever had, the leadership or the power of control the samurais in Wano, that it may have been Ryuma, even if he was a Ronin and he was moving around the areas, maybe he saw himself in a position that he had to step in and without wanting, like Luffy, without wanting, having to save some people. So it makes sense that she is positioning some sort of demons or shadows or monsters in specific points in the story to keep an eye on them so they don't awake. Okay? The giant frozen straw hat in Marijoa is a giant frozen thing. The other giants frozen in Punghazard are giants. The other thing frozen in Thillerbark is Ors, and is a giant as well, a ginormous giant. So there is a common connection with all of these details that Oda is giving to us, and I like it. I like it. So the targeting only government ships and destroy them, I think this goes more in the line of, because she is the world government, okay? Gorosei is the leader of the world government, she controls the Gorosei, so she is basically the king, the king sitting in the throne, we know this. So, what is the meaning of this, in my opinion? In my opinion is that, like we have Sword, there are certain people from each generation, okay? Like we have now Kobe, but the previous generation is Aokiji, and the previous generation is Garp, and the previous generation is someone that we don't know. Like we go back up to 900 years ago, there were people within the bad guys, that is in this case world government in One Piece, that they were good, or they were trying to actually help people there. So I think this is referring to that. If someone wants to learn too much, and we can lure them to places like, the area where Thillerbark is, good. Because we have this Shichibukai working for us, that is going to take care of the job. If we want someone to find something for us, like an ancient weapon, we're going to give this task to Crocodile, and Crocodile is going to help us to find it. But, Crocodile obviously has his own agenda, and he will want it for himself. But if you realize, people has been positioned in key places to arrange this worldwide control that Imu has over everything, and I like it. We need to see as well more of this, probably not in a flashback, but in a kind of explanation as well from Sky Island and other Sky Islands, because there are multiple Sky Islands, and see how this is gonna impact the story as well, because the Sky Island has a lot of importance in the story. It is massive. It's a massive foreshadowing of everything, and I think Oda is going to give us some information about that soon. If you remember, there is still one of the supernovas, that's Urouge, or I call him Urougi, but it can be Urouge, and I'm going to put his theory here. I think he's the strongest physically of them all, even stronger than Luffy without the GR5, obviously, and we still need to see him. All of them are going to have some part in the story, and we haven't seen much about him. So it will make sense that when we learn more about Bibi, but Bibi is gonna come back now, about the ancient weapon that is here, about the top of the tree, because we haven't been to the top of the tree, and how through clouds it connects to the Sky Islands, and when the tree is gonna fall, all the Sky Islands are gonna fall as well. It will make sense for me that Urouge is there, and he plays some sort of role in helping us. Urouge seems to me like a good guy, and he has this kind of NL apprehension, and I explained that as well in that video, so feel free to have a look, and let's open conversation about it. But just in one panel, 2 panels, Oda is giving us a crazy amount of information. Anyway, so the fight continues and everything, and the conversation continues as well. Obviously Imu in Gunko's power, they are human size, they are small, and Loki is ginormous. Luffy transformed as well, quite big, so it's difficult to find them. It's difficult to target them and to shoot one of those lasers that are like the electric powers or fire powers that Loki is using to actually hit. But Imu obviously is using this in her advantage to talk, and basically it's talking that at the same time that these things with the shadows and this massive pirate was traveling around, that this is Loki. When all the Harald story happened and Harald died, Loki left, and for 6 years more or less he was traveling as a pirate, and he got a wanted poster of 2.6. That is Yonko level basically, and 2.6 billion, and that's a Yonko level, and obviously she's mentioning here that there were sightings as well of a giant creature, blah blah blah. So probably he lost control sometimes, and he transformed into the dragon, into the dragon fruit, and he was just fighting and going all over the place and everything. I like it. It is something that I believe it has been a little bit left to the side. We know he had a season traveling as a pirate. We know he came back. We don't know if he came back actually voluntarily, or that's when Shanks captured him and brought him back. Maybe it's like that. There's even a meme about that online somewhere of someone done a drawing, I think, of the Shanks ship, tying a little rope to Loki's neck and bringing him to the thingy. I don't know if that's exactly how it happens, but maybe it could be one of these cases that Loki is asked, and I said it as well all the time, that Loki said to Shanks, look, just tie me there because you're the only one strong enough to actually tie me there, just in case, so they don't control me like my father. I think like a little bit of fear there. It could be interesting for development of the story. And yeah, it is vague. Information that Imu is giving us, it's a little bit vague, and I wanna know more. When we are reaching now this point of lore, is my favorite thing. Is absolutely my favorite thing. I wanna know things from the past about Imu, etc., and about the fruits that they were used to fight against Imu, and I need to see it. Luffy is very upset. Luffy is kind of going super fast to fight Imu, but obviously he's not reaching out in time. When he reaches out in time, then this is what happens, and we see how the figure of Imu, this kind of serpentine figure, comes out of the body and starts, basically stating the reality of things, like basically you are a pain, and you should just die and disappear like rocks did. That is important as well. We know now that by killing the Domi Reversi people, they can be flipped back to normal. That Zorro showed us this, okay? And he's actually doing this a little bit more in this episode. The thing is, Rox asks please to Roger, please, to kill him. He said, please, do this. And obviously, he's not gonna do it. So, is Rox still alive somewhere? It could be. It could be. There's a lot of frozen things references. He could be frozen somewhere. And I like this. I like this because I don't want to see him fighting. He's too strong. He's the strongest of them all, together with King Harald, and I explained this as well in multiple videos. I don't want to see him having to fight, but in a kind of advisory role that he's gonna advise on something, he's gonna say something before fading. If he's frozen somewhere, he could just be unfrozen for a millisecond and say something important and then vanish, disappear, or just melt or disintegrate like ashes, maybe like Saturn did, like burn, because he may be still being controlled, for example. I like these things. So we are seeing that Imu and the Gorosei and the God's Knight are not being that difficult to defeat. So they need to have an ultimate weapon that it can lay within the newest member of the Gorusei, the Xiang's father, Garling, but I don't think that's gonna be it, because we have seen him a little bit not that strong, I would say, in the let's move this a little bit. In the flashback, okay? So in the flashback, he's like, yeah, he's strong, but he's basically useless in that fight against Rox, against Roger, against Garp. He cannot do anything, basically. He's just one of the lower characters in strength comparing to these other titans there, okay? So maybe he's not the chosen one of the enemy. He's maybe just a guy there. So I think I've been focusing more in the talk and the explanation because I wanted to explain this and not paying more attention to the drawing, but we have more or less the sketch. If you notice, I've been using a new Standler HB that, you know, it's already quite like 3/4 of what it was. I've been using this pencil to draw, to do these latest maybe 3-4 videos, and yeah, it's nice. I have another one there, another type I want to try as well soon, but just so you see that any kind of pencil you can use to do these kind of things, and any kind of colors as well. For this I'm using still the Micron. I'm gonna be using the 03 this time to do all the line work, because there's a lot of blackness. I'm gonna follow my pattern of colors for Gunko, like I done in my previous Gunko video that I have here for you as well, where she is having this kind of black coat. This is gonna be black, the hat is black, the boots are black as well, and in my opinion I painted this all red like she's some sort of leggings. I'm gonna do the same because that's how I would do it, okay? Feel free as well, you know, that's not how she looks, she's just, you know, showing the legs and everything, but for me, you know, I prefer to put the leggings like in the other drawing. I like more the design like that, for me personally. But let's do all of this, a little bit of line work. Okay. So something very interesting happens as soon as Imu kind of pops out of Gunko and is saying all these things. Basically, she goes into last move type of thing, and she pulls out these kind of spikes. These spikes are piercing Luffy and piercing Loki, and then she goes and says Domi Reversi, and he's like, ooh. I think they are gonna create a lot of tension with this when we go into the anime adaptation, because this is a key moment that everyone was expecting. Imu is gonna try to transform these two. Somehow they are not affected. They even have this kind of face of what did just happen here. It reminds me as well to a couple of scenes ago with Luffy being, you know, attacked by Loki with electricity, and Luffy is like, okay, this didn't work. This happens with Enel as well, and you know, Enel is flabbergasted, like, oh my god, why did my attacks not work on you? So these two fruits, the thing that they have in common is that they are mythological fruits. I guess that is the reason. If you have a mythological fruit, you are not gonna be affected by this type of attacks from Imu. If you have a normal fruit, yes. So I think, like every type of power in every type of story, there needs to be some sort of top, some sort of limitation, some sort of reason for the good guys to believe that, you know, we can win here. I don't think they have been opposing such a threat for you know, our guys. The threat was more for the common people of Elbaf, you know, for the kids, for the families, for everything. But as soon as the warriors, like, you know, Loki, Luffy, Zorro, etc., and now with Dorian Broggy recovered and everything, are in business, the bad guys are not having any kind of opportunity so far. They are being destroyed. So, as I said, they need to have some sort of plan B, like a monster under the sleeve, so they are actually able to do something and to put us in danger. We want the tension of thinking, oh my god, are we actually gonna lose? Like the tension that we had in Onigashima, for example, the tension that we had with Rob Rucci, for example, okay? So, the Domi Reversi did not work. They are like, oh, what are you doing this? You know, what is this silly thing, this annoying thing, silly thing? And Imu knew about this. She's kind of saying, you know, as I expected. She's thinking for herself, as I expected. This didn't work. Probably she used this attack as well in the past for trying to control the previous users, the original enemies of her plans, and it didn't work either. So she knew this already. Interesting as well. She should be some sort of mythological as well. I would say the Hito Nomi model Satan, the model, the king of the demons basically. And I like this encounter, okay? It is like a test. One are testing the others back and forth, and I like it. Again, we are playing with this kind of silliness of Loki not being able to see Imu because she's so tiny, she's human size, and he's like, what is this? What is this girl? And then Luffy manages to arrive. He throws one of those Gatling type of attacks, Dawn Gatling, the dawn of the world, the dawn and the darkness, you know, of the world and everything. You know, Luffy is bringing this kind of new light to the world, and obviously it makes sense. This is the first time that we see Luffy full on with haki punches attacking Imu. Obviously, this is not doing anything. It may be that it's not actually specifically fruit, it may be something different, but we need to see what Oda is going to give us with this, okay? I'm just very curious to see how Oda is going to do all of these explanation of Imu's abilities, okay? Because they are quite peculiar, to be honest. So, then, it reminds me to Crocodile, when Crocodile is punched with Gatlingu, and is full of holes, and then he regenerates. I like it. I like the design. The figure of the silhouette, I am getting a little bit tired. I want to put a face to the enemy. I want to put a body so we know what shape it's going to have. You know that when Oda is introducing an enemy, there's always like a shadow, no? Like a silhouette figure, and then when he defines it, we see the whole character and everything. So, because he's working remotely, I would say, it's very interesting. But I can't wait to see actually how Imu looks for real. In that video I put there before drawing Gunko, I explained how I think Imu and Gunko are gonna look for real, and when Imu is revealed, I think she is gonna look exactly like Bibi. So she is gonna be Nefertari di Lily. I'm not saying Nefertari di Lily is Imu. I think Imu as a character, Imu Nerona, took over Nefertari di Lily's body with the Ope Ope, and then that's why she wants so bad to capture Bibi now, to take over another vessel, and in the meantime is taking another girl from royalty that it probably has blue hair as well, that is Gunko, okay? And I like it. I think as well there are connections with Nami. I think Nami is descendant of Imu. I'm gonna put that theory here if I can, and because I have a limited amount of tags, but we are going to learn that at the very end of the story. It's going to be probably one of the final releases of information regarding the Straw Hats and who they are, etc. And the fight, the battle that Belemer found Nami in Anonojiko, that's a battle that probably someone who had the Toki fruit at that time teleported the baby to the future, and Belemer found it in that current battle. I explained everything very nicely in that video. Feel free to as well to go through it and let's discuss about it. We see again now how Ratatosk is coming back to his hammer state, and Loki jumps with a massive hit. Is doing a Niflheim attack. This is as well from Norse mythology references. I explained already in the Loki video what's this reference, and he makes a massive ice block, freezing Gunko and freezing Imu inside, okay? Obviously, Luffy wanted to fight, Loki wanted to fight more, but this attack managed to freeze them a little bit in time, okay? So as we can see, they're not moving. Luffy depletes his energy straight away, so that means that Luffy was at his limit, he needed food, and he becomes old man once again, like we see as well in Vegapunk Saga with the Egghead story. No explanation about this, no repercussions for Luffy about this. Me, personally, I wanna know what's this about, and I wanna know how he is gonna be, how to express it, how he's gonna be blocked in terms of power. Like Luffy needs to have a limit as well, and it cannot be that he's just becoming old. He needs to have some sort of drawback, some setbacks as well, and we learn multiple times that by using Gear Second the first time with, you know, against the CP9 and everything, he is putting at risk his life, while using Gear 5, Gear 3, Gear 4, everything as well, he's even putting his life at risk more, making his heart pump faster. There was a lot of speculation ages ago about, oh, maybe Roger had that fruit, and maybe Roger had the same problem, and that's why he was ill and he was dying. I think after seeing the flashback with Rox and God Valley, we can see that that fruit wasn't in Roger's possession. But it's interesting concept. Like, I think as well Luffy, like Roger, needs to fall ill because the overuse of his power in this case, and this is a perfect example. And I have a lot of theories about that as well, but we can talk about it in another video. I talk in several videos, separated videos, but I think I wanna maybe do one specifically about this, maybe drawing Luffy as an old man. It could be interesting, and we can discuss that topic there. But basically, you know, he needs to be saved by Chopper, by Law, and there's gonna be a nice story there, very beautiful and emotional story, I think, because we love Luffy and we need to see moments that we're gonna cry for Luffy, like we cried for Robin and Nami and Sanji, etc, etc, etc. So that's my opinion. So we come back a little bit to reality, we sail a little bit through the scene in Elbaf, and we see different towns. You know, put off the fire, put down the fire, this and that, you know, so everyone is helping. Nami is using Zeus to put some water down. As well, we have Jinbei using his Gyojin Karate with the water, so he can actually pump some water into some areas and save some houses in town. Okay, very interesting, very nice. We have a tiny image of Lilith there, saying that her device to freeze things obviously has a limit. Obviously, like this is basically dials from Skypiea, and how she's managing this is the same concept of the dials, and they have a limit. They can do one burst and they need to be recharged. I like that as well, because Lilith couldn't be here just to save the day. She needs to have limitations as well, and we need to see Nami do something and the other guys doing something. So we jump into this moment where we are now with Zorro and the rest of the giant bosses, and almost all of them are defeated. You know, they're apologizing. Oh my god, sorry for being, you know, overtaken by this darkness, blah blah blah, so silly. And, you know, Dory is like, don't worry, because we were actually in the same situation, so no problem here. We see there's still a couple of guys controlled, just maybe 2 or 3, and Zorro is just, don't worry, I'll take care of these guys, you can just rest. And then from behind we have this surprisingly moment where Chopper shows up and, you know, slaps them, and they transform back into normal. I explained in my previous video briefly why this is happening. Chopper, it is actually most likely having a mythological fruit as well. The Hitonomi model God Forest or something like this, depending on how Oda is gonna call him, but it's referring to this. It's mythological as well. I think this is not Chopper's final form. I think this is Chopper's Bat Awakening, like the awakening in Impel Down that we see with Minotaurus and the Mino Zebra and Mino Koala and those guys. I think we're still gonna see a moment where Chopper needs to awaken properly, and he's gonna be some sort of teenager looking, a mix between the new jump point and arm point, like very teenager looking. He's gonna be as well floating like Luffy, and he's gonna have these kind of clouds around like Luffy, like Yamato, in white as well, and that still needs to happen, okay? As well, he's gonna have massive horns, like, you know, I've done a drawing as well ages ago about explaining this, about Chopper being the panacea. Panacea is that kind of situation that is gonna that kind of solution that is gonna save everyone, all the sickness of the world, and at the end of the day, he is gonna be the panacea. I say as well in multiple videos, but you know, just to explain it here quick, that Chopper fruit was together with Dalton's and together with Wapol's. I think that was in the chests in God Valley, and here look, one of the infamous thief of West Blue was there as well, in my opinion, and stole those fruits, and then was slapped to Drum Kingdom by Kuma, saved by Kuma, like with 500 more people that were saved that day. And because he's clumsy, Hiruluk lost the fruit, and because the fruits have their will of their own, and especially more the Zoan, and especially more the mythological ones, and the fruit found the creature that needed the most, that was this tiny reindeer, the Chopper, and made Chopper the chosen one for that role, to be able to help us save the world from darkness. Okay, darkness meaning Emu, Blackbeard, etc. I don't think this is because, you know, a fruit that can heal all the illnesses, because that's what Chopper wants to be, with his knowledge, no with help from a magic thing. Okay, he wants through his knowledge to be able to heal people. I don't think this is healing what Chopper is doing. He's just using new power and yeah, but applied to his ultimate goal. Obviously, the fruit found him because he needed to do this. He needed to do this kind of helping for a lot of people. Okay, so I like it. And I like the joke that Zorro is like, that means because you are super cool doctor, super good at thingy, and Chopper is like, you silly. I like that interaction as well, and I can't wait to see more about this. I believe it's gonna be parked a little bit on the side now. They are not gonna be going much into it, but as I said in the previous episode, I said Chopper is gonna go one way, Zorro is gonna go the other way, and they are gonna meet in the middle when Zorro will see how Chopper is the transforming design, and Zorro will say, what is going on here? What are you doing? Because it is the obvious choice to happen here. I don't know if this has been discussed in other channels, in other people and everything. That is my personal opinion from, you know, reading what I see and from having my own experience with storytelling myself and seeing what I would do. And actually it was good. We guessed that right. We got that one right. And it's nice to see this character Zorro being the first one, basically seeing, the first one from the crew, seeing what Chopper's ability can do, because he is nicely, beautifully connected with Chopper, kind of taking care of him all the time very nicely. So I like this interaction. So once again, we have reports from multiple places in the island. There's still some fires, they are putting them down and everything, and then we jump into the library. The owl library is frozen because Lilith froze it to save everyone there. The scholars are there, Saul is there, Robin is there, and he's like, oh my god, what is going on here? Everything is frozen, okay, but where are the books? This was packed with books. Where is Biblo? Biblo is a gigantic owl that has a fruit as well, and the fruit is to basically change the size of inanimate objects. So she can't, or he, I don't know if it is a male or female, I don't remember right now, he cannot change the size of people, okay? So I may do a drawing about Biblo. I wanted to explain this for a very long time as well, but I didn't have the chance yet. But I think Biblo is gonna make Ragnir, the hammer, small for Usopp. And Usopp is gonna be taking the hammer soon. And that will be his weapon of choice. I think the hammer is gonna be very happy with Loki right now, but at some point it's gonna be Loki's gonna take another weapon, and this hammer is gonna jump and go into Usopp. I will love this, and that will be a super power up for him, and it will be very interesting as well. Okay, so what do I think it happened here? Simply, as Robin says, I think he is the boss of the library. He's in charge of protecting the legacy of Elbaf, and I think upon seeing all the Rukus going on around and all the danger, he just made everything very, very tiny, probably put it in his bag, in his pocket, and left to be found. Okay, Nico Robin has this need of disappearing all the time. So I see a moment where we are gonna go into a secret place in Elbaf, inside the tree, most probably, and there is gonna be this sort of cave that I was talking about before with Gaban, maybe with the kid concept as well. I think Anna always said multiple times with Mike Rocco's drawing as well, and Mike Rocco's video, that like Jules Verne stories, Julio Verne stories, we still need to go to the center of the earth to find more things. Maybe this is the point where we go, like we went 10,000 meters up for the Sky Island and down to the underwater. We need to go as well inside of the ground, and this may be the moment where, like in Onigashima, in Wano, that Oden's father takes Law and Robin under Wano to reveal the poneglyph, to reveal the underwater Wano. Here we may have something similar, and the owl already is hiding there to protect everything. It's like the last point for resistance, let's say, that they are hiding. And we have a lot of reference from this. Where is the poneglyph in Zou? Inside the tree, inside the whale tree, okay? And our guys, the Nekomamushi as well, and Raizo was hidden there by Nekomamushi and Inuarashi as well. So there are instances of moments inside the trees and things like this, and this tree is so big that it needs to contain things inside. Okay, so I will not be surprised if there's a full vault in there and everything, and another level of protection for the people of Elbaf. I would like it. Sanji is talking with Frankie and everything. They have as well, the God's Knights killing them with the head, hanging like Buggy, and they are like, oh my god. So, it's not like everyone is coming towards us, it's just a few guys from the Holy Land and we just defeated them. And Killingham is very worried about Imu, and I like it, kind of like, even if he's a good guy, he gives me good vibes, and that's very interesting. I said as well in multiple episodes ago that we need to finish this saga by having one God Knight at least captured. I would like to see one of them captured. At the same time, what Oda is giving us here is this, but multiplied by 3 almost. We see another part of the land where some pieces of Saint Sommer's head is as well, coming back together. He's not captured. He's just been thrown very far away from the action. And as well, this is reminding to how we meet the samurai boss that is with Momonosuke as well in Punk Hazard. And Oda is doing this all the time, so expect things that you have seen already in the past, like in this case, and in the case of Buggy's situation with the head, with Killingham as well, to have more things like this. We see now that Luffy is old man asking for food, please food, and Loki is like, I am not gonna go and fetch you food, and the squirrel probably is not gonna do it either. Imu is frozen still in there, but she fades away and she's able to transport back into Marejua. I don't think this is Imu. I think this is just a shadow, a spirit, a projection that she has done. Okay, so obviously we will see more of those things coming up until the face reveal and until the final fight. Now she's not gonna be fighting herself here, but not at all, obviously. So we see Pangea. Pangea is the castle in Marijoa where Imu lives, and the Gurusei has the meetings and everything, where the Reverie happens as well. If you see the first panel, the first level, there is a shadow there on the right hand side with something destroyed. This looks like some sort of constructions. We know that something was going on in Holy Land at the beginning of Elbaf, and they called Shank's brother, and they said, hey, we need you here, come straight away because we need you here, there's a lot of things going on here. So yeah, revolutionary army, revolution, fight and everything. I think as well Lafitte is going to be here trying to help the Gorusei and, you know, connect Blackbeard to them so they can access the freezer with where the hat is and everything. I like it. And but yeah, I think that's what's happening here. Imu is in the flower room again, back, and she says to the Gorusei that she is gonna withdraw a little bit from the Holy Land. So, where is she going? Please, before I say anything, just put your comments in the show more section. Where do you think she is gonna go? There are different options here, okay? We know that the hat is in Marijoa, near the flower room, so this is not the place that we are gonna go, okay? It could be connected to the center of the earth that I said before, to kind of see someone. This someone could be something like she has frozen and Domi Reversi rocks and she wants to take some information, or just make aware someone, like typical James Bond scene of the bad guy going and talk with someone important that he has captured and say, oh, you know, I'm gonna reveal you my whole plan right now, and then, you know, later I'm gonna be defeated because I revealed the plan. Something like this could happen, and maybe it is Rox is somewhere frozen. If it is not Rox, is someone very important. We don't have any other kind of character for us to say she's gonna be visiting that character. It could be something completely new as well, but I would put my opinion more towards Rox is still alive. She is gonna, or someone from the 900 years ago is still alive. One of the allied people. Let's say we are having these mythological fruits, no? And one is Luffy, one is Loki, etc., etc. One has to be Chopper, and one is gonna be Shirahoshi as well, or some, you know, these mythological people, the chosen ones from each one of the groups. Maybe there is one other group that she has the boss. For 900 years, she's been keeping this boss alive as well, and he's gonna try to show, like, oh, you know, I kept you here for 900 years and now is the moment that I can kill you, because if I kill you now, this is gonna help me to kill the others as well. That could be an approach as well, and introduce a new character. Is this new character the man marked by flames? It is another possibility as well, even though the man marked by flames is traveling around with the last poneglyph, so I doubt that's gonna be a little bit this theory. I think more in Scopper Gaban for this role, but it could be some kind of interesting game that we have there with these concepts as well. I need to know your opinion. I want to know your opinion to see what we can, you know, unravel and discover with all of this. And yeah, I think we are almost finished for today. I'm just gonna do a couple of extra lines. So we have, when I paint with the colors on top of the line, the first round, obviously, because I'm working on top of the line, I lose a little bit of line. This happens always when you work in traditional, so it's nice if you can to do a second pass. If you are one of these nakamas here watching the videos because the drawing instead of because the explanation, at least we have this kind of note here, okay, for reference. And yeah, so I think this episode was loaded with information. I loved it, I liked it, I could find hints for everything. Probably I'm missing some of the other stuff, some other stuff as well, obviously. I'm saying lately in almost every single one of my videos that Oda is putting together this puzzle and explaining us the mysteries. We didn't know about something and he's putting it on the scene. We had a couple of examples in the last analysis of the video that you have it here in the channel, and now we have these things with the Florian Triangle monsters, these shadows. Like apparently they were working the whole time for Imo as well, some sort of surveillance, some sort of cameras for her to be able to learn what's going on in that area of the map as well. So I love it. This puzzle is coming together. The story soon is coming to an end, and I cannot wait to learn everything. I have this split heart at the moment. Like I want the story to finish and learn everything, and I don't want the story to finish ever. But it has been so exciting after so many years following the series to see and to learn some things. Like, for example, the shadows in the Thillerback saga. I am absolutely loving it. So I can't wait for more. Looks like there is episode 1179 next week as well. There is no break. Something big is happening in 1180. I'm just gonna say that. Something big. Imo is not there anymore. We have won this. Like Caribou, Summers needs to manage to escape like a rat, like slithering somewhere, like jumping, like very silly. We are keeping Gunko for whatever Brook is gonna be interacting with her. We are keeping Killingham for Ransom to have some control over the communications that we may have with the Gurusei or with the government, with some kind of Spandam type of character or something like that. I would love that. And I don't know what Summers is gonna do, but it's gonna be bad. And his move is still not finished, and he needs to do something to put us in a very bad situation, or he needs to leak information. I see someone like him leaking information probably because he's disgusting to other bad guys that are rivals, like selling information to maybe Blackbeard, for example, and it wouldn't surprise me. So we need to see where all of this is gonna be leading. Oda, Eiichiro Oda, I love you. This is amazing. Thank you very much. The story is getting super interesting. If I loved it already for all these years, now I'm loving it even more. Okay? So I'm gonna sign for today and we finish the video. This is DavidViadel23, DavidViadel23. You can say it as you want, and this is the Mandrago's Cave. I hope you enjoyed the video, the analysis of the chapter 1178. And yeah, see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye.